time to get lit. About to hit the club, about to go and find a fit. Homie stressed out, cause I pulled her with his bitch. She left, cause your chain fake, and you're running tick. It don't even make sense.
What's up, everybody? You're tuning in to Keeping It Social with Ashley Nicole.
Tasia Badass.
And Naja.
All right, so I know it's like, there's a baby in the room, clearly.
You wouldn't hurt him. That she made him.
I just wanted to point out the little, baby elephant.
Well, say hi to Nasir.
So that's
Nasir's
our
in the
mini
building.
guest for the day, Nasir.
Yes, he's in the building. He's taking notes,
And our guest for today is Vidal Guzman.
Vidal. Yes.
Sorry, I asked you how to pronounce it in the beginning and I still got it wrong.
It's cool.
You've been going through that all your life.
Yeah.
I was like, do you pronounce it in Spanish? And he
Yeah.
told me to, and I still got it wrong.
See?
I'm sorry, guys.
That's cool.
All right, so before we start, I want to remind you guys, you subscribe on YouTube. We're on SoundCloud. We're on Apple. And if you have an Android, no excuse. We are on Radio Public also. So subscribe and tune in. All right, so we're going to start with Social Highlight. Social highlight is usually something big that happens on social media, in real life, and everybody's just speaking about it. So, of course, social highlight for today is the loss of Nipsey Hussle. I want to say first and foremost that prayers go up to the family, and also I want to say to us because we lost somebody very positive in the community that was doing stuff for us, So for people who don't know, he was killed in front of one of his stores on March 31st. So hearing the news, what was your first reaction?
Me?
Yeah, you are a guest. We want to know your reaction.
I think, when I look at what just happened, I think it's important for us to understand, and I told people a little bit about it, the whole Willie Lynch idea. A lot of people don't know who Willie Lynch is. Willie Lynch was a 1700 slave owner that came from Scotland to Virginia to teach slave owners of how to keep people in control. And in his letter, it said, how do you put people against each other? So one of the things is, I kind of seen his letter of oppression really breaking down someone who, didn't have nothing to lose. When I look at someone that, did the harm or took Nipsey's life, he was just a ticking bomb, just walking.
Right.
So we lost someone that was important. And I think just the marathon, when people talk about the marathon needs to continue,
It really does.
Yeah,
don't
absolutely.
just say it.
Right,
Yep.
right.
And I mean, that's just entrepreneurship, being a business owner, and not just being an entrepreneurship, just creating funds. creating money for yourself.
And
but
ownership, right.
Yeah.
That was something
And
that he was
creating
really...
opportunities for others.
The others, yeah. So
Giving back.
Yeah. So if you don't, I'm sure a lot of us know this story, but if you are that one that doesn't know what happened, there was a guy actually from his neighborhood or somebody from the gang that he was in, I guess. I don't want to get it wrong.
60s.
Yeah, what is it? Rolling
60s.
Rolling 60s, yeah.
Yeah. So, the story so far that I have heard, I don't know, stop me if you guys have heard something different, but basically the guy was telling him about hearing his music, and Nipsey didn't want him around him because he was a so-called rat or something. And he was telling him to go away. He had went away eventually, and he came back and shot Nipsey.
Yeah, I've heard the same.
That's
same.
okay. All right. So, I wanted why do you guys think? Of course, it's obvious why it touched the whole world, but for you individually, why did it touch you? Because
I felt for Lauren the whole time. I feel because I'm a Lauren London fan, that's why it touched me more. Because dang, her whole life has to change. What do you tell your 2-year-old when they asking for their father? That was my main thing.
Yeah.
And then just knowing, dang, I could hear his old stuff, but he can't produce anything new.
Yeah.
So that was just wow, this
or
is
even
real.
continue what he was doing, For me, it was the same for me. I thought of Lauren London, but I also think we think of her because they were a public couple and everything.
Always together.
But I just thought of her imagine losing the person you thought you was gonna be with forever.
Right.
Out of nowhere,
And they just got engaged.
Right.
Yeah, that's what was in my mind. Cause and then again, eventually, they say time heals all wounds, but it's like, how do you start over? Like, it's hard to start over, especially with somebody you didn't see nobody else other than him. You know?
Right.
Yeah. So, and a lot of things that stood out from this was that he was set to meet the police commissioner the next day about the same thing. Yeah, about the same thing. He was like, I wouldn't say killed over, but somebody who was in a gang killed him. I mean, he was in a gang too in his earlier days, but
Still is.
you know.
He was still rolling 60s.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And that's something.
Yeah, he did say that.
And for me, the celebration of his life, did you guys find it amazing that it was nationalized, it was on Fox News, and you know, if you guys know how Fox News is more like on Trump's side, Trump supporters,
right?
Yeah,
And I found it so crazy that they had it live on Fox News, and it was so real, it was so raw.
I felt like I was there.
Yeah, but then it was like it wasn't censored. It was like you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that to me, it shows that he had that, you know, that
That influence,
that energy, that's just like, you know what, go ahead, you know. And I just found it so well. I was like, is this on Fox right now? Like, you know, it's different from BET, but Fox, you know.
Yeah.
So but to answer your question, how I feel like he touched me. You guys know how I'm into business and things like that. And I found it, even now, hearing a lot of rap artists and, you know, people that we look up to that we don't think or we don't know that they're into that life.
Right.
For him to be so deep into entrepreneurship and so deep into just uplifting everyone around him, it was so, like, I'm getting goosebumps right now. It's, like, so powerful to have that person even in your circle or even around you. And to know that he even spoke that in his music. Yeah, he spoke that, you know, gang stuff or whatever, but that wasn't the core of what he was speaking about. You know what I'm saying? He was that Jay-Z for the youngins. You know what I mean? And the fact that he was in gang culture, he was able to touch a crowd that, you know, maybe a Meek Mill wouldn't be able to touch.
Right.
So he had the gang culture, the people from the hood, you know, and regular entrepreneurship, people that are into business and things like that. So I really felt like he was able to touch someone, even if they weren't into music or even if they weren't into his music, listening to him speak about entrepreneurship and ownership, you tuned in. If you were tuned into his music, you're tuned in. If you was, you know, part of gang culture, you're tuned in because it's like, wow, this person of intellect. I remember him even on Breakfast Club, and he was giving off books to read, you know, and I actually went and got one of those books because it was like, that's The Way of a Superior Man.
Yeah.
So it's like just to know someone of so much intellect that people from the outside would just view him as, oh, he's just a gang member.
Yeah.
You know, and he was able to show, no, I'm not just that. I'm this A, B, C, D, and that can empower and encourage another person to do the same.
Right.
So and then I'm so sorry because I would just had so much to say about
I
this.
knew it was gonna be a big topic.
And even for the funeral, you can see, like, just seeing his family and how strong they were up there, you can see that was Nipsey. You know what I'm saying? Like, because just the word that they spoke about of him and the things that he told them and spoke around them is like, you can tell that strength came from either that core of the family, but whatever it was, you can really see that he made sure that his family was solid first, you know? And you can really see that, and that's what I feel like is going to really hold all of them up. Like, just for the fact that he had their back, you know, and he made sure that they had that grounding.
Yeah. What touched you about, like, losing Nipsey Hussle? I know earlier we had spoke a little bit, and you said you've been listening to Nipsey's music for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I've been listening for him for a while, and I think for him, what attracted me to just not his music is just like his lifestyle, right? I was gang related. I was a member of the Bloods, and I think in reality, you know, when the Bloods and the Crips first started, one of the reasons that they started was because they were supposed to be the same way as the Black Panthers and the US organizations. But a lot of people don't know a lot of the minds of the Black Panthers and the US organization was killed at UCLA, you know what I'm saying, in the college. So the people who was teaching, you know, the Crips when they was first starting really didn't have that mindset of how, you know, the person that was killed was able to teach the Crips how to move, how to operate. And, you know, when I look at that, it's like we all got to remember, like, a lot of these gang cultures was started because when Compton, you know, Compton was never all Black, right? You know, Compton was a white neighborhood, and a lot of people who was African was created a gang because they was tired of getting jumped by white people, right? And I think from there, when the white people moved out, and you know how they moved out, right? They got a little bit more money. The government started taking care of them, right? And they moved out the neighborhood. So I think that loss, one of the things that touched me the most is just like Snoop Dogg speaking.
Yeah.
You know, and one of the things that he said is like, he's a peace advocate, right? He can go to different neighborhoods and be in a blood neighborhood with YG, and be in other Crip neighborhoods that his set is beefing with or having problems with, right?
Right.
And I think for him, it's like he was trying to build something that was bigger than all of us, right?
Right.
And in 1992, when they had the riot, a lot of the gangs, all the Bloods and the Crips and the Essays got together. Because they had to unite, right? They was fighting against police brutality, against in a big raid that was happening. I mean, riot that was happening. So I hope, and this is my opinion, I hope when people are like talking about the marathon continuing, and especially people who are gang related or people who are in that lifestyle, right, are talking about building the agenda that Nipsey Hussle was already building, right? And entrepreneurship is important for creating jobs, being able to change the mindset from the from the ground up. You know what I'm saying? Because I think a lot of our people are not physically in prison, but mentally they are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think if they still keep building our people like that, we would just be in a different mind frame, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think those are it hurts a lot of us to know that he passed away. But I think
I feel like it also sparked a lot too.
A lot, yes.
Like even like what you said, you hope like they really continue the marathon as far as like gang members and stuff. They already started because I don't know if you guys saw a video, but they was like they had 2 bandana flags tied together.
They did
was
it
already
in
united. They
LA
were walking
and
together.
I think it was Delaware.
They did a walk.
Yeah, so that was dope. I think also just to go back to what you said about his funeral being televised and stuff, I wanted to ask you guys like. There were some instances where I know we saw the video of like them reviving him and stuff, and there was another video of like Lauren London going in the hospital, and then there's like versus like the funeral being televised. What do you think are the differences between the two? Like, sometimes we get caught up in putting everything on social media and showing everything to everybody, but what do you think was like the pros and the cons of each?
Do you mean each video that was displayed? Or
yeah, all the videos that was displayed. Because it's like, for me, like, all right, I'm going to say the video, like Lauren London's video and him being revived on, like, us seeing it on social media was kind of like negativity. But I would see the funeral, like, I'm glad they showed us the funeral. Like, I think if we would have never, like, seen the funeral, we would have forgot about it a little fast.
Well, I don't feel like we would have had our full closure.
Yeah, that too. So, why, I'm trying to word my question very correctly.
You feel like why people feel like it's okay to put everything on social media?
Right.
That's the day that we're in now. So it's
not
like,
even okay to put on social media, but like for the Lauren London thing, like, I guess, that is my question, because she instantly thought, take a video. Like, whoever the girl was, she instantly thought about taking a video and putting it on social media. Like, we watched it, but, like, do you guys think it was okay? Like, are you glad you saw that video as much as you were glad that you saw the funeral video?
no, of course
Like,
not.
Because I know we were all thinking, hey, like, where's London? How does she feel?
I was about to say,
and the video was kind of like
it answered my question. Like, how did she feel?
Well, which video did you guys see? I just saw a quick snippet of her running inside the house.
And it was just like just
her breaking down.
Yeah, just seeing that made me feel like, damn, like
this is real.
Like everyone else around her knows that, he passed away because it hit it, but she still, in her mind, asking, is he okay? She still has hope. She still has faith. So it was just like, damn. Like,
to just...
It's the point where some people see celebrities in the airport and they're like, oh, my phone's out, you know? So it's like, I feel like to some people, it's natural to just pull out your phone, you know? Yeah. And on top of that, they're on their phone all day anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like, right.
Always on my
I feel like people just click to their phones, and in this generation, something like that, people are chasing clout too. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be open to that.
Because there was even a girl who tried to play as if she was Lauren London. She showed a video of just half her face and was like, oh, the government did this. Like when it first happened, the government did this. Yeah. And she had her eyebrows shaped like everything. You would have thought it was Lauren London, but her voice just wasn't adding up.
That's crazy. Like, I'm glad as far as like, even though we get caught up in social media, I'm glad like everybody equally respected like the moment and like nobody try to do anything funny. Like, you know, the memes always happen, all that always happens. I'm glad that didn't happen.
Well, what I've seen is like the misuse sometimes of like trying to create a branding behind everything.
Yes.
And I seen that too at the end.
Yeah, that
And
too.
I mean, I have to say that that's just
Unacceptable.
unacceptable
Yeah.
of just doing that, right?
Right.
Like, oh, you come out with a T-shirt with his name,
Yep,
like, yeah, I gotta get
yep.
this.
I
Don't
saw
do
somebody
that.
said something that was like, you could tell by a person if they already put a Nipsey on a shirt.
Exactly.
Yeah, hell yeah, don't
like,
do
come
that.
on, that's
Yeah, like-
disrespectful.
Yeah,
like,
don't do
relax.
that. I think
No, but people are actually like starting GoFundMe pages, like celebrities at that. Like Reggie Bush started a whole GoFundMe page supposedly for Nipsey's children after Lauren London told him not to. He
do that.
still did it.
Oh wow,
Like-
that's disrespectful.
Very disrespectful. Like a parent told you not to, and you still doing it, still
Yeah.
promoting it. Like really.
media is controlling a lot of people and how they move.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, I'm always on my phone, but
Yeah.
I just don't think of certain things.
Like that.
to
It's
do on
certain
my
things
phone.
that you would post and certain things that you just wouldn't.
Like
So,
I just wouldn't think about
crazy.
stuff like that. And do you ever think like on Twitter? I feel like after the fact, we always see that tweet that's like, "Oh snap, that was the sign. That was the sign."
Right.
Because I don't know if you guys saw, but that day he had
said about
tweeted
enemies.
having strong
I
enemies
believe
is
it
a
though.
blessing.
I believe it though.
Like, do you feel like
And
he
mom
saw it
said-
coming?
Yes, definitely. I don't feel like he saw it coming the way it happened, but I do feel like he had an idea because, like his mom said, like he was like, "Oh, I love you," and you know, like
It's
I feel like
crazy. You have
people they don't know, but they feel it. Like,
Right,
right.
let everyone know I love them, I care about them, just in case.
yeah.
It's scary.
Did you see that part when he had a picture with P Diddy? I'm sorry. But did you guys see the part when he took a picture with P Diddy? And I guess this was for Victory Lab, and he went in and he's like, you know, I need that life after death feel.
Yes, I saw that.
That's crazy.
I saw
That's
that.
crazy,
Yep.
right? And that was for
Yep.
Victory Lab. That was
Yep.
recently.
I mean,
So I like,
And
you know,
Lauren-
like it's crazy.
Lauren
Bodies
London wrote
works
that
like
text
that.
message recently, like
But that was January, yeah.
Yes, it was just like everything was so fresh. Like, you know, she could have pulled out a message from years ago, but that message to her meant a lot.
I just feel
And
like
it
a
was
lot
just
of
so-
his messages that he made sure every interview that he went on, he made sure there was a message.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That was the crazy
That's
part
goosebump
about
type of hearing.
goosebumps.
Yes.
Like it was crazy. Like, I don't know if you guys seen the part when he was saying like, you know, I just want to give you guys a little heads up and gain culture. And you know, when you have a target, you're looking for basically yourself.
That's
You
true.
know, and it was so true. Like, listen to
Wow.
you. You'll pass by the person that's of a different race. You'll pass by a person that's not dressed like you or that's dressed like, you know, square or whatever. But the person that's dressed just like you, built just like you, that's him.
Yep.
That's
That
the
wasn't
person you
I'm
should be
right
afraid
now.
of.
Oh my God.
That's
That's not
serious.
crazy.
Yeah.
And I feel like he was the perfect person to give our youth and, you know, especially our young men, our black
Yes.
men, that message, you know? So that was just crazy to me. Like, I just feel like I'm thankful, like
Yeah.
you know, like Lauren said, I'm thankful to have experienced a person like that. Like, not even to know him personally, but to be impacted how I'm impacted.
By
It's
him.
crazy.
Facts.
Like, you know?
And just watching the funeral and seeing how strong the family is, like, even though, you know, everybody says the marathon continues, and
Right.
I strongly am behind that. Whatever, like, we want to do or have to do, I'm with it. But, you know, some people say it just to say it. And I feel like his family it's really going to continue the marathon.
yeah, of
course.
They are really
It
going to be
has
the
to.
continuation
It
of the
has to.
marathon.
He put too much into play, you know,
Yes.
and to know all of the things that he had coming up to as well, it makes it even more crazier. Like, you know, so you know, again, our prayers for the family. Like, I really hope that they continue to stay solid, and that everybody that has been impacted really takes on and, like you guys said, continue with the marathon.
Also, before we wrap up social highlight, I just want to one more thing about this Nipsey Hussle thing. I want to say we need to throw away the conspiracies, like, especially when we don't have evidence about it. They had me believing that.
About the government,
I don't know.
right?
I don't know.
Wait, what you
but
believe
yeah,
in? The government? Me too. Me too.
Like, I mean, I don't know what to believe at this
I was
point.
about to say,
it makes
yeah.
sense, but we also don't have no evidence of it. Like,
So you can't all the way throw it out the window.
Yeah,
Just
because
evidence.
also, you know,
Malcolm X.
how did the
You know what I'm saying?
rat or the snitch know that Nipsey was gonna be there without his security guard or without he didn't go with nobody. They said he literally ran out the house to go help a friend, and he was coming right back. So it was like, right? How did we know that the police? Because they knew they was meeting with him the next day. How we know they didn't send the snitch? Like it's a lot of stuff that could come to play. You just won't know.
That is true.
But did you guys see that? I guess the friend that he was basically the friend came home and he went to the store to get him some clothes.
That blew mine. If you about to say what I think,
they went to get some clothes. Nipsey got shot. He got shot right along with Nipsey, but then he got arrested again
because he
was affiliated with a gang member.
Yeah, that's so messed up.
That's not crazy.
That's so messed up.
That's how parole works. Though.
Yes, that's parole so crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy though, but. What if he was just going to the store to buy something? Like,
I mean,
not even he was going to help his friend that just.
No, I know, but I'm saying, what if he was just going to buy? He was literally going to buy something and leaving. He could go in any store, and that happened. So he gonna get arrested anytime,
right?
Like that's not right.
Yeah,
like treating them like they still in prison.
Mm-hmm. But that's how that works.
Yeah, that's how that's
Speaking of,
so we're gonna wrap up social highlight. R.I.P. to Nipsey Hussle.
Yes.
We continue to remember Nipsey Hussle and pray for his family. And the marathon continues, guys. Seriously.
Yep. No, definitely.
All right. So...
I'm waiting for the question.
Our guests, our advocates. All right. So first things first. Just like I always like to tell people, I know, of course, you're from where you are. Just tell people a little bit, a summary of like who you are, where you're from.
Yeah.
And some of the things you do.
Yeah, so I'm an activist. I do a lot of different work from, owning businesses, clothing line. I'm coming out. I just came out with a poetry book that sold 2,000 units. That was actually really good. And I'm still building on that. I'm coming out with my second poetry book. And a lot of the books was actually sent to people that was in prison, so it inspired people to write their feelings or just write their books. I have a app company that's gonna come out. It's called Our Latinx, and it's just doing decolonizing work. And I also work for the Close Rikers Island campaign. So I'm a lot of jail closure type of campaigns. Bills being passed. So I worked on a lot of different things, and I'm in a lot of different spaces. As we know, marijuana is going to be legalized. I'm always trying to figure out how to make sure that black and brown people who've been impacted by incarceration of marijuana are first to own stores, to own shops, because 81% of people that own marijuana shops or in that business are white. I formerly incarcerated. A little bit about me: 5-6 years old, I was homeless. 8 and 9 years old, I was selling drugs. At 14, 15 years old, I became a member of the Bloods. And at 16, 17 years old, I was on Rikers. And then 18, I was on probation. And then 19, so I was 24. I was in solitary confinement every 3 to 4 months. And I've been home for 4 years on gang parole right now. So yeah, I've been speaking around the country. I write articles for AM New York, the ones that you see right next to the trains. Yeah, and I spoke at a lot of Ivy League schools, Harvard, Yale. That's really it, doing the work.
Yeah, I mean, we could probably be here all day and speak about everything, but something that you just said stood out for me, just because, the whole Meek Mill situation. How is it for you being on parole, knowing that you're not really doing anything wrong, but you still have to be on edge about things you do?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that, I'll tell you a story. One of the things that happened, I was actually on a radio station, and I started speaking out against parole, and then this, like, the head of parole actually called in, trying to get through. And what I found out was, like, my parole officer said, hey, you got to be careful. And then he also found out that, I ran down on the mayor. That was on the news. And he was like, man, I seen you on TV. And, you got to be really careful. So this work is at any moment I could get locked up. I won't do 90 days as I have a harsher, more case. So I'll do a year. And then on top of that, if I violate parole, I'll do a year, and I still have to do that extra year, right? So I'll be on parole.
Wow.
A lot of people don't know parole it doesn't work, right? And I'm really vocal about it. The reason why I say that is because people who are parole officers, some are doing the work as getting people the making sure they have a job and returning back to society in proper way. But we have a lot of people who just can't do parole, and just hate parole and just getting violated. And people don't know why the population of people incarcerated is going down in New York State. Parole violations are growing, and people don't even talk about that. The population on people on parole are growing because one, people are getting less locked up,
Right.
and then the prisons upstate need to stay open, right?
Yeah.
So they gotta violate people so they can
Right,
keep
so they
economy
could go-
working in
Yeah.
their small towns.
It's a business.
It's a
Yep.
business, and then we the bodies that's filling it up, and it's sad to say that, man. So, yeah, that's Meek Mills has been doing his work. It's great, it's really good that he's doing it, and people that have been impacted, it's front and center with this.
Being somebody who did time,
Mm-hmm.
ideally may not be the perfect circumstance, but ideally, what do you think should be done for people who are released from prison or jail?
Yeah.
Other than parole, what do you think in your mind is ideally maybe a good situation?
I think it's not just a individual, right? Just people on parole or coming home from prison or jails. I think our neighborhood need to be well funded, right? Making sure that our
Yep.
neighborhood have reentry services, affordable housing, counseling, therapy. People who have mental health illness need to be put in hospitals, not jails. Our kids need to stop being locked up because we know their brain is fully developed, or not
Yep.
fully developed to 25.
Right.
There's so much money in New York City. We have a jail like Rikers Island. To keep a person detained on Rikers Island is $300K per person.
Wow.
And
That's
to take them
crazy.
back and forth to court for all 5 boroughs is $32 million.
Wow.
So when we talk about money, there's money in the system. It's not funded through our neighborhoods.
Right.
That's
So yeah,
crazy.
that what we need is a whole structure of more investment. I was walking here, and actually when I took a bus here, and reason why I do that is because I want to interact with community and really see stuff. And I see how much trash is on the floor, right? And I don't think people talk about it. You imagine our kids looking at that, and then when you go to a white neighborhood, they don't have trash on the
They
floor.
don't have trash on
So they don't see it.
You
They
know
have
what's
it.
crazy? When I say that, when I say that about potholes. When you go to Manhattan, what
No
pothole do you run into?
Right.
None. When you enter in the Bronx, you're entering the Bronx or whatever other neighborhood, the potholes is crazy.
Let's just
Yeah.
say the city owed me over $2,000 because I had to get new rims
Oh God.
because of y'all.
No, but really, even I drove into Brooklyn one time and the potholes are crazy. I would never want to drive to Brooklyn again. Stuff like that. And it be sometimes you say it just to be funny, but no, it's really
serious.
I'm dead
It's
serious.
real.
It's crazy how you see how we enter in Manhattan and there's the streets is nice now.
Because it's getting gentrified.
Yeah.
People are moving in our neighborhood. Colonizers. I'm not.
So, do you think gentrification is equal to building our community or no?
Hell no.
'Cause it's
they
their
pushing
way.
us out.
Yeah.
And I think that doesn't fall on us because we don't know the language of money and financial literacy to understand how to own our own stuff, right? Integration doesn't work for Black and brown people, right? And when we was talking, about imagine us going to white areas and trying to open a business, that won't happen. I think for us to really, when we talk about the marathon continuing, is the proper way of us owning our own stuff, right? When we get our checks every Friday or every 2 weeks, we spend our money. It only stays in our neighborhood 5-6 hours. That's sad. And I think it
I
comes to a
saw
certain
you.
point.
You
yeah.
had posted something on your app. I don't know if you posted, but your the page you have for your app, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it's for your app. You said something about the Latin community or some community spends
Yeah.
35 trillion.
Yeah, 30.
If
Yeah,
you
around
would
35.
invest, what was that on? 35 trillion on what?
So the growing economy is what people don't know right now. The growing economy, the only reason why our economy, Black and brown people, are growing is the way that we're closing the wealth gap is because a lot of people are buying property. And I think, when we talk about the Latinx community, there's so much money that we are actually creating, but it's not going through our neighborhoods.
Right.
And I think because one, we're not trying to buy laundromats, right? When our family or people who used to live in our neighborhood was black owned or brown owned, and we don't want that. We don't want to keep that in our family, and it's sad, right? When even our nail salons or people who clean feet and stuff like that, the Chinese community, the way that they do a pool, right? So they actually put money through their neighborhoods, have everyone in there, and what they do is like whoever's next get another shot. So they, in reality, integration is not great,
right?
Because it's not growing our economy.
Yeah.
And like if we're not putting money in our economy, this is why our neighborhood looks like this, right?
Yeah.
I
don't know if I think I saw a post on Instagram or something. I don't know if you had posted it. Somebody had posted it, but it was something about like, why do you think Chinese people open their businesses in like communities like ours, like because we spend our money.
It's easy to take over. It's
just so crazy.
The Willie Lynch said.
And then I'm sorry to cut you off, but and then for us, like I feel like we would expect to spend or open our business maybe in Manhattan or something, because that's ideally where we think we would succeed.
Yeah, I think, when I came out with this clothing line and I see other people, and I'm not trying to throw no one under the bus, I think we are like running to European, for
validation.
Yeah, validation, right? Like Kanye was doing that, and it's so sad, and I think in reality, we just got to create our own lane and really,
our own validation.
Yeah, and appreciate each other, right? And then, and really start. Yes, Chinese people come to our neighborhood because they know that they're gonna take our money, right?
Yep.
But once we try to come to their neighborhood, and it's not putting people against each other.
Right.
What I'm trying to do is really empower people of color, because
we can all be on the same level.
Yeah, because we haven't been empowered to own everything in our place since segregation, and that's a problem, and I think we have to step up in many ways, not just owning stuff, but running our own schools. Jews have their own schools, right? You know what I'm saying? And their whole neighborhood is ran by them.
That's so true.
When we talk about the marathon, we talking about all levels. And I mean, even pushing ourselves from getting funding from government, right? We don't need government to take care of us. If we're talking about...
We take care of the government, if anything.
That's what I'm saying. If we talking about a revolution, right? And I ask people all the time, people are like, yeah, we need to start a revolution. Do you know how to farm? Do you know how to hunt? Do you know how to hunt? You know what I'm saying? Do you know how to do these three things? Because if a revolution start right now, are you prepared to do that?
Right.
Yeah.
So I think until we're free, we can only be free if we stop accepting, the government to take care of us as, as welfare, food stamps, right? Food stamps and all that creation was created by the Black Panthers. And people don't know that they was doing a free breakfast and it was feeding us. You know what I'm saying? They had a free clinic where it's giving, checking on their people, making sure their health is right. A lot of that was stole from us. And, and I bring it all the time. Willie Lynch, he said, and I really is important for people to know, Willie Lynch said that. He said, what you do is that the way that you keep someone of color in control is that you break him like a horse, right? And when you break him like a horse, you have to first break the woman, right? And the woman is the core of our community. Once you break the woman, and one of the things that people don't understand, and then you take away the men, because the men are the most wild one, right? That in that letter it says that. So what you do in our society right now, you incarcerate all the men, and then where the woman has to do everything by herself. You know what I'm saying? And then from there, you have the government taking care of us, right? Welfare. Wi-Fi, food stamps, right? And now what that does is you teach your kids to run to the government for needs. So it doesn't create that independent that we need for us to create, to be ourselves, right?
But I can't lie. I feel like now with like social media and stuff, we are creating that independence. Like we do feel like we could do anything we want with social media. Like there's no way you could be sitting at home doing nothing or not have no ambition about doing anything at all. You have like Instagram right in front of you. Like, whether people joke about Instagram models and stuff, but hey, they're not sitting around doing nothing.
Paid.
Like
they getting paid.
Like, you gotta make it work how you make it work. Like
Nipsey said
everybody
that.
gotta eat.
Nipsey said that. He said, we this right now, technology is this is a different gold mine. This is a way that everyone's like getting money off this, but
everybody could really eat. That is so true.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not just even that. Just finding the lane where you can use your social media platform.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, studying it, knowing how to use it. You on it every day, might as well. Like, if you really don't know what you want to do in life, figure it out on social media. Like,
The good things, not the bad things.
Right,
good
right,
things.
good things. The good things. Don't be a Tekashi 69. So like, I know being like, from how you grew up, you told us like, you know, you witnessed being like homeless and poverty, and then being in a gang, and then you went to prison, jail. What changed your mindset? Because I assume you're a totally different person from when you were before.
Yeah,
you know? So what clicked? Did it click in like jail or prison? Did it click right after you got released? Like what changed your mindset?
Yeah, I mean, prisons are a place that will either let you control your mind and encage you. Oh yeah, or opens your mind, right? Or encage you to be there forever.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that I always say is like, once someone leaves prison and jail, doesn't mean it leaves them. So one of the things I started learning is like, a lot of people who was doing 25 life was the role models, because they never had the opportunity to be the role models when they was in the streets, either because they got caught being a part of the so-called war on drugs, or, you know, also understanding like, a lot of people don't have we don't have you know, when people defend themselves if something happens to them, right? And you know, like, I met a lot of people who was doing 25 to life, and these was the individuals who always told me like, yo, you know, I watched my kids grow up in front of me on my visit floor. I didn't watch my kids walk in front of me, or when my kids took their first steps, right? I watched them after, right? And like, one of the things I wanted to ask myself, did the life I wanted to live was doing 25 to life, right? And that's scary. Imagine you being locked up. And
I will find any and every way to entertain myself, because
not even that, like you can't like get your mind, really, like, you can't really, you know, interact with your
the only thing you have is your mind at that point.
Yeah, and you gotta stay mentally strong. You know, and I met someone that did 35 years, and one of the things he said we kept seeing the same individuals keep coming back. And he said, one of the things that we have is that people are scared to fail.
Yep.
You know, once a person failed one time, they don't want to fail anymore.
Yeah.
And the belief of success is the belief to understand why you fell, break that down, and understand how to keep breaking that down until you find success. The many no's until you find that yes. So yeah, I was in solitary confinement. You know, and I don't know if y'all know about solitary confinement. Solitary confinement is a small solitary confinement is a small area where, you know, as small as some people's closets. And I was looking at a mirror, and you know, my whole teenager years was incarcerated, and I had to ask myself, is this the life I want to live? Really personal. You know, I asked myself this: how did I get here? What got me here? And how can I move on, right? Because basically we're caged, right? And we don't even know that, right?
I was going to say, like, being in solitary confinement, I know it sounds really bad, and I know it is really bad, but do you feel like it kind of helped you focus on yourself? Like, do you feel like if you weren't in that space, you probably would have your mind on other things, maybe, like, waste time?
Yeah, I mean, so I think... You know, Brian Stevenson said, we send broken people to a broken system. You know, people that was broken by poverty, broken households, broken neighborhoods, underfunded, over-incarcerated, over-policed communities. Right. You know, we've been broken at one point. You know, people that have been locked up has been broken in one type of way. I think solitary confinement didn't help me. What it did is really... you know, people fight demons, you know what I'm saying? And demons, mental health is important. People fight demons every day. These are things that, like, you know, people who are coming home don't even talk about the bad things that they have to deal with, right? And it's so hard that some people are spending many years in solitary confinement, 19, 20 years in one little area, and only 23 hours, sometimes 24 hours. In 23 hours, they step out in a small cage like a bird, and get only a little bit of air to go back inside.
That's crazy.
No human contact. And the only human contact they probably have is probably their loved ones come to see them. And sometimes these guys...
And then time changes. Like, I always think about, like, people who, like, are get incarcerated at one point in time, and then things change. Like, you know how we have, like, you know, technology and all that stuff.
Everything. Slang.
Like, that must be like being born again, because like
Yeah,
you
it
don't know what
is.
you're going into. Like you don't know, that's the thing, that's what's going on now.
Yeah.
Like you still stuck in the time you went in, you know?
I remember when first FaceTime, they came out with FaceTime, and I wasn't home for that. So I'm like, FaceTime? I was young.
Right.
Yeah, I wasn't. When I came home, and the first thing I called my step pops on FaceTime, that was like a different,
Yeah.
you know, wow. Yeah,
Different
so
feeling.
I'm still trying to get used to technology. A lot of people think, because I'm doing this tech world, I
Yeah.
want to be a part of it, because in 2020, it's going to be so many tech jobs with no one to
Right.
take it. So I want to be a part of this wave before it starts.
Right. So when I personally first seen you on social media, I saw you going strong with the closing of like Rikers Island. I just want you, for people who don't know, what why wasn't it so important for you to take a part in that?
Yeah, you know, being 16, 17 years old in there, I think many people have heard of his story of Khalid Brothers. You know, there was many Khalid Brothers. Khalid Browder was an individual who was locked up for allegedly stealing a book bag and awaiting trial for 3 years. You know, one of the things I really knew when I was young, I used to read the newspaper, 16, 17 years old, see if they would talk about this Rikers Island in the papers. And then I remember, like, even if they write about Rikers Island, it was like belittling us, like kids, right?
Yeah, make you scared.
Yeah, and you know, I think for me, the reason why I got involved with this, you know, I'm from the streets. You know, I lost friends out there. I was like kind of tired of lighting candles for friends, and I said, you know, how do I make people's name live? And I think for me, it was like really being successful, and that's how you keep people's name living on. So you know, I was just tired of like living in community, and we still living in community that's just underfunded, over incarcerated, over police.
Yep.
And I'm like, what can I do for my brothers and really just change the mindset? I just had to get involved with something that was different. But I think for me is like the Close Rikers Island campaign is just a different campaign that really talks to people about getting involved and about what would it look like with a city with more funding in it and less jails and making sure that people of color are being met the basic needs of economic needs of having the 3 pillars of life, you know, of anyone's life: clothes on your back, food on the table, and a roof over your head. How do we make sure we fight for that and well funded? So we know that, you know, keeping Rikers open is more money than closing it. And we want every single dollar to go in our community. So
is that the main, would you say that's the main reason? Like keeping Rikers open costs more than closing it? Because that was going to go to my next question. Like why Rikers Island? Why not any other jail?
Yeah, because Rikers Island is
The biggest one as of right now.
Yeah, it has 9 open jails, and altogether it has 12 facilities around the city. And 12 jails, we have around 7,777 people. In the 1990s, we had 22,000 people. Now we have 7,777 people. And, you know, I think for us, you know, jails, mass incarceration is the modern slavery, right? After slavery was over, the 13th Amendment, and I think people should look up the 13th Amendment. If you do a crime and you get incarcerated, you are now put under legally, you are a slave. And a lot of people don't know that. If you do a crime and you get locked up, you are now a slave. And people don't know that, and people should look that up. You know, a lot of people don't know after Abraham Lincoln was actually killed. Before he was killed, he started, you know, when he freed people, you know, our warriors, our painters, when he freed people, he started a bank to create the economy for Africans who was freed. But when he was killed, the next president stopped funding the bank, so it went bankruptcy. So that's what land is where we at now. We was only, you know, Africans was only supposed to do 7 years of labor, but it was like, whoa, free labor, let's do it. So this is the market, and Richard Rikers, who used to own that land, was a part of the Kidnap Club. So he used to catch free slaves and sell them back to the South.
Wow.
So that's the name of Rikers Island.
What's the status of closing Rikers Island
Yeah,
right now?
yeah.
Because I saw you post something 2 days ago, and I saw the signs was like no more delays.
Yeah, I think right now we are in a major fight.
fair.
Yeah, we are just in a major fight right now we know we have to get people off Rikers.
Yeah.
But we also know that we also
Where
know,
do they go? Like, because, you know, it's so many people at
Yeah.
Rikers. You know, I'm sure everyone knows at least one person that's at Rikers right now. So it's like, where do they go?
There's already, what people don't know, there's already borough base. You know what I'm saying? There's Manhattan, Queens, Brooklyn, and the Bronx, right? So what I think for people is like there's already facilities closer to the courtroom and closer to people.
So it's just spreading them out pretty much.
Yeah,
like,
wherever borough they actually was incarcerated at. And it's actually, what I think of that as a person that's been locked up on Rikers, that's more important, right? How do we make sure that people are met the basic needs?
Right.
Programming are in there. And we're really vocal about this. We said this. We think the Department of Corrections shouldn't operate anything. They created the culture in the first place. And I'm just happy to be a part of the campaign because we was able to inspire other different campaigns in LA, Atlanta, Detroit, Milwaukee, to start their jail closure and to build community platform. So yeah.
That goes to, for me to ask, you know, like taking people out them jails and like, you know, I it's a good cause, but are you ever afraid like you may be releasing people who's gonna commit another crime when they get out?
Yeah, I think.
Or like, cause not everybody thinks the same. Like some people are like, yeah, when I get out, I'm gonna do good.
Yeah.
Like somebody like you know, like, you know, they got their mind right, like, you know.
Yeah.
But there are some people that don't
need help.
really like that.
That need
yeah,
help. So-
yeah, that need help. That's probably not even the right place for them right now.
Yeah.
They need help.
Yeah.
So I think for a lot of people, there's this fear of like people of color being isolated from us, right? We know that is not a better condition, but we know that we have to meet people's basic needs, right?
Yeah.
People do crimes, people do sell drugs or do something
Because they need those basic needs.
their basic needs are not being met. Do you know that if someone sells drugs on a block, it's
Because
either
they need to pay their rent and buy
Or-
food,
They're
put
not
food on
just
the
doing
table.
it right. They're not just doing it to do it.
Yeah.
or they don't
they-
know how to tie ties to do a job interview. They don't know,
Right.
they don't know how to sit
Right.
properly and say,
Or
hey,
that's just gonna take too long, cause like there may be somebody who want to go to school and they live in a poor home, but it's okay. They're gonna drag it out and go to school. There's somebody who's like, school is gonna take too long. I need to do something that's gonna happen now. You
and
know?
that's an addiction too. You know, the fast lifestyle is an
Yeah.
addiction. We should be treating that as a crisis.
Yep,
Yeah.
definitely as a crisis.
I mean, we just got to meet people with basic needs, and incarcerating people is not their basic needs.
Right. Also, I heard that like the CEOs, like when you do leave, like they're quick to be like, "Oh, you'll be back." Like,
Yeah, we
is
heard that
true?
before. Yeah, we heard that before.
Like they
You
do
know,
that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, they say that. A lot of people upstate. My first time meeting a correctional officer is one of the things not my first time, but when I was actually when upstate, and one of the things he said to me was like, kind of pointed at the tree and was like, oh, you know, my pops and my family, you know, that tree been there forever, you know what I'm saying? And like some white supremacy type of conversation or all that slang. And he's like, that tree's gonna be there forever. So he's like, I don't like you, I don't care about you, I don't care about your people, but we're gonna respect each other in this point. But I think it's also important too to me to go back is like there's a lot of people who are legally innocent till awaiting trial. 80% of people
Right.
are
Innocent.
legally innocent or just awaiting trial in court. So in reality, is like a lot of people can't even pay their way out of freedom.
Right.
So there's a difference between a person of wealth who can pay their freedom than a person of color who can't pay their freedom.
Yep.
So yeah, I think, you know, the Department of Correction and people who are correctional officers, I when I look at that job, it's like I know this, you know, that's a career for some people.
Right.
But we want to make sure that we're meeting, you know, there has to be other different jobs. You know, correctional officers can be security at the facilities that's closer to the courtroom.
For the people who being released.
Yeah, and then, you know, and what can take care of them is people that does counseling or does mental health or orgs. So yeah, it's many different things we can do.
One more question. I'm sorry because
Yeah.
you said counseling, and I'm in that field. Do they have multiple counselors at Rikers or any? If you know?
Yeah, I mean they do, but you know, I think
Because I know it's a big population. They probably don't have enough for the counselors to see everybody.
yeah, I mean
So it's like you have to really do something probably to get seen.
So it's two things to that, right? Like our school to prison pipeline, right? I think we don't talk about that and how that it impacts our kids, right? We have more police officers in our schools than counselors. So our schools are well underfunded by not having not having people who are counselors to meet with our kids that's having some type of problems or having certain issues. So I think when it comes to prison, it's like that same person was dealing with the same process of being in schools and not having a counselor being active in their life.
Right.
So yeah, I think
so it led to that.
Yeah, I mean, yes, many different things led to
Something
that.
to keep on a steady path.
Yeah.
So I want you to explain your app before we wrap things up.
Yeah.
I want you to explain your app because I know you haven't launched it yet, have you?
Yeah, I haven't. So I'm working with this tech company who's formerly incarcerated, and this tech is going to be a decolonizing work. I want to make sure what happened in Puerto Rico, all the food going spoiled, that never happens again, and it gets to the right hands. I'm not trying to throw no one on the bus, but I feel like everyone was trying to be the person, then helping out the people who was really doing the work down on the ground. So this is a Latinx app that I'm coming out, and I also want to show my clothing line too. I brought some pieces here, but I think that's it.
I want you to explain mostly the X part. 'Cause I know you have your clothing line is Politic X.
Politic X, yeah. The X is the X.
What does the X represent?
The X is the unknown, right?
Okay.
The X is the unknown to something, the unknown to find until we find the true destiny of what it actually means. The Politic X is the abilities for people to have that conversation about what's going on in our neighborhoods, right? And the X is not knowing what exactly. The unknown. Politics in our neighborhood is the unknown. So I use my clothing line as a way of really educating people. Our Latinx, the Latinx is we have to open the conversation with people who don't represent themselves as Latina or Latino, might represent themselves as them. So the LGBTQ community. So that's why I put the X behind, because we have to have the conversation is not just centered around Latina or Latino. Also have to be centered around people around the community from the LGBTQ community. So yeah, I mean that's what everything it stands for, X, because it's the unknown until we find the known of every meaning.
Cool. He was gonna show us.
Yeah.
His sweater.
yeah.
He was in the process of showing your sweater.
Yeah, and you was like,
I don't know what you brought.
Yeah, I did. I brought some stuff. So I got this piece is like.
And you have a website.
Yeah, it's called Politic X.
Know.
Yeah, it's called Politic X clothing line.
And you also have Instagram for each. So
I
Instagram
really
for the
do.
app.
Yeah,
Instagram.
and I have a partner who's a couple partners that I work with on our Latinx app. So I have 2 partners I work with, 2 strong, powerful women. And I'm happy to have them as a team.
Women, okay.
Yeah. So this is the
That's nice.
I like the colors.
Yeah, this is the line. This is the Young Lord piece.
I like this.
Yeah. So the Young Lords was
wear
also the Puerto Rican. That was part of the Rainbow Coalition. The Rainbow Coalition was a mixture of people who was doing work with the Black Panthers. And it says 1492 when Puerto Rico was colonized. So it just said Puerto Rico is not free. And I think this one is like the liberation one, and this one is like the army color liberation. And it says basically liberation of our people. It has 2.1 million people incarcerated, so it fluctuates from 2.3 to 2.1. So I was like, I'm gonna put 2.1, and this is like my back sweater. I think this one is my favorite because it kind of says the back.
I'm glad you wore your favorite to keep it in
I
know.
So it says save us, but it's also say like
nearly half of the world's population.
It's
more than 3 billion people live on less than $2.50 a day. 22,000 children die each day due to poverty.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think when we talk about poverty, is not a taboo conversation, and I think we should be talking about poverty more.
Right.
So this is what I've been doing. This is I want to really do with all these pieces. I just want to hire people by us for us, right?
Right.
And this is what I want to push the conversation.
That's
I
really
like what
good.
you're doing. So you have
Yes.
an app, you have your book,
So, the app.
you have your clothing line. I'm
Uh-huh,
sure
so
you
people-
can find
yeah.
everything on his Instagram. Your Instagram is
I am Vidal Guzman, Vidal Guzman, Politic X, clothing line, and then our Latinx app, and then I'm gonna be coming out with the second book, real soon, and I'm probably gonna be coming out with a educational flashcards for Latinx. So after I leave here, I'm actually gonna go home and kind of work on more things.
nice.
Good.
Yeah.
I like it. You need to keep us updated.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Just so, because there's some people who have a hard time supporting people. So what can people do to
Yeah.
support for free? Not that nobody wants to buy your thing.
Yeah,
but,
no, I know.
there's some hard-headed people that
Yeah.
just don't support at all. So
Yeah.
there's no excuse
They
to
just
support
watch.
one another. So what can people do? Not only like for you, but for the whatever, like not whatever, but like the closing reconciling and the
Yeah.
things you are involved in. What can people do to support you?
I mean, just follow me on I am Vidal Guzman, and I think for a lot of people, support is a must.
Come
like I
out.
said before, all the things I created is not for me to economically be
be
wealthy,
right.
right? I think that comes with everything. I think for me is just to make sure that I'm creating jobs by us for us. That's really what I'm doing. It's not me trying to get rich.
Right.
That comes, right? I don't care
Right.
about
Yeah,
that. I want
right.
to create jobs by us or for us and not wait for government jobs to come. Since the 1990s, 1970s, our people have been fighting for jobs and justice. And we're here now still fighting for the same
jobs and
justice.
Facts.
So yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes one more than the other. Sometimes.
Yep.
Yep. All right. So really quickly, we gotta have Cyber Troll of the Week. So she's gonna basically tell us, Tasia Bauer herself,
Hello.
is gonna tell us about who was the troll on social media, not only commenting but being a little bully and all that good stuff. So who's Cyber Troll of the Week, Tay?
Cyber Troll of the Week this week will be Kodak. Kodak Black. And the reason why I say this is
I agree. I must say.
trolling went wrong. That's one.
Facts.
I feel
Not
like
that it ever goes right, but
he tried. I feel like when Tekashi did it though, it was funny. It was
Yeah.
very funny. I was entertained. I'm like, all right, he a bully,
but it's like no.
but with Kodak, it was like you tried and you failed, and I feel
I
like
don't think he was trying though.
he was being serious, and that's what makes it worse. Is
that's what makes
because
it worse.
you in your right mind thought it was okay to talk about someone
Somebody
who just lost their
just-
significant
yeah.
other. You know what I mean? And you try, give it a year. This woman is gonna be changed forever. Like her
Yeah.
whole life changed.
And my thing is, what makes you think she wants to start over with you? Like
Thank you. I could understand if they looked alike. They dressed
I
alike, they
Kodak's
act
music,
alike.
but it's nothing else about him.
And
that I like.
he's very young. Like Lauren
Like,
London's very mature.
I
Did
thought
you
he
see
was
what
a-
happened?
I thought he was a changed man. Like
No, I knew he wasn't.
no, but in his
After
music,
he
I
walked
saw
out-
like a different side.
No,
of it.
he
Like,
walked out on
really
the
grew.
interview. That's very unprofessional. I don't
No,
care
but,
how mad
you
you
know.
get. You hold it down. You getting paid. They getting paid. You have a job to do. Once he did that, it was just like,
He's
all
not
right.
there yet. He's not there
Yes,
yet.
he's not. But I
But he
feel
has
like
changed a little bit.
he's gonna learn though, because people are not playing his music no more. They took him out of the trap museum.
I saw that.
Like,
But he
so
was like, you didn't even have permission to put me there anyway.
his apology to me was not sincere. How you say I apologize, but I didn't respect you? So why apologize? You basically just took it back when you said you're apologizing for something that you didn't feel was disrespectful. When everyone around you or everyone who saw it felt like it was disrespectful. So I just feel like, yep, he got Cyber Troll of the Week because we're talking about it, but did he do it successfully? No.
No.
Do
you feel like I know we all like you have to tread lightly on social media.
Yeah, definitely.
But I feel like was there ever an instance where you maybe not yet, but maybe did something you were like, oh shit, no, let me not say that. Let me take
Definitely.
it down.
All
Like,
the time.
because like somebody would take it a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it
You
also
ever feel
comes
like
with the
have to
job
be
you
very
work.
careful before
Yeah.
you post something. Do you?
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, especially me. Especially when you have a lot to say, right?
And then also with jobs, I feel like when you have a government job, it's just certain things you can't post or you can't say. So although you want to express yourself, you can't because it'll be looked at a different way or it'll be screenshot and sent to your boss. Like, you know, it's just certain stuff you just can't do. It sucks, but, you know, it's life.
Yeah. He also got, I think he got Donkey of the Day too by Charlamagne. So you guys are, wow, 2-2. I don't think I could tell you didn't see that.
But he switched it after, actually.
Oh,
and he basically was like, The Game and T.I., like, even though they was checking Kodak, he's like, which is true, 100%. I agree with Charlamagne. Just think about all the songs we listen to, and they're disrespecting women all day long. So it's just like, have the same energy. If you're gonna come at Kodak for disrespecting Lauren London as a woman, you should come at all the other artists who disrespect women, which is true.
But there are different moments.
Yeah,
because
I agree with that.
we see it, and because everybody's doing it, it's like you kind of like throw it under the rug. Yeah. But because this is with somebody who passed away, like this is a whole different. I feel like this is a whole different like conversation. You know?
Yeah.
That's like
so I understood.
Else. That's a whole different conversation. But I agree. Yeah. But it is not. It's not something you can compare.
And he said that too. He was like, you know, basically Kodak was talking about Lauren London, you know, being beautiful, how she wanted to be with him, and he was like, you know, for the Game to feel like it was okay to check him after he was just talking about Kim K and Sin Santana, like this is also people's wife.
That is true.
So it's like, for you to feel like it's okay to disrespect someone's wife and that you dealt with in the past. And you coming at Kodak, like you personally had nothing.
You have to check yourself
right.
First.
You shouldn't have had anything to say. So that's why I was like, I get what he's saying 100%, but you know, Nipsey died, so it's different.
Like it's a different conversation right now. Like we're mourning, like,
right? And it's just
not okay.
Right. I was about to say maybe if he did it a while from now, maybe it would have been like not even okay, but it wouldn't have been as serious. But it was just like this just happened, and you're already clout chasing.
Yeah, like and you're doing it on live, like
right. Just to get into one piece of tea, I saw that G Herbo.
Oh, I know you heard that.
Went to, of course, his son's first birthday. But did you guys see the video when she was like beating his ass outside?
Yeah, like she's no playing around. That's not your man no more.
No, she wasn't playing.
Oh, she was that serious? She was that serious?
She had to be,
and
because
this is why he left her.
I was about to say that the cake video was cute. She threw some cake on him. He threw some cake on her. Cool.
No, I think they were playing.
No, that was playing. But at the end, and you know it's her, she is swinging on him on the car, and he's like
I saw that, but I think they were playing still.
No. Look at his face.
Have been that serious.
I believe it was that serious. His face looked like, and even if you playing, why are you playing like that? And your friends is all high. And then you playing like that, and
she put her relationship on.
Her relationship, he already stopped following her. She unfollowed him. She called him a bitch. Like, guys don't like that. Sis, you're being extra. You're being too aggressive. Yeah. All the Aries fans is gonna come for me because I know it's a lot of y'all. I'm sorry. I'm just being honest. Like
Aries. Oh, Ari.
I'm
you like Aries.
You know they a group.
I thought you meant the sign. I'm like,
no,
wait,
you know they a group and they come deep. But I'm just saying, like, sis is a little too aggressive, and that's probably why he left her.
That's why she need the boxer.
Yeah, well, the boxer had enough too. He unfollowed her.
You lying.
And she deleted all his pictures off. I'm dead serious.
I think they're having a moment. They're like an Ava and Ella. They'll be back.
Yeah, you see they back.
Yeah.
And that's it with the Tea with Tay, Cybertron Louise.
Okay. All right, so now we're gonna go into News with Naja. She's bringing reality to keeping it social, okay? So you're gonna start off with entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
Or you want to do backwards? Okay. Entrepreneur spotlight.
Hello, it's Naj. I'm so sorry. I'm all babied out.
Like,
hold on. You're back with News with Naj on on KIS.
But yet you're thinking about if Nazia got fed, changed his diaper.
No, I had to really, all right, I had to really do all of that just now. I'm like, what? All right, anyway. Back to
Enough
it.
about that.
Yes, that's right. Hi, guys. You're back with News with Naj on KIS. We're starting off with the Entrepreneur Highlight. During my weeks, I normally just, like to scroll on things and just to get updated on throughout the week. And this week on... actually, it was last week on Forbes 30 Under 30. I just found Harlem Capital. Basically, they're a venture firm, and they're new, and they're minority based, and they got featured on there. They're all, I believe it's like around 5 or 6 guys on there, and they're all under 30, like from ranges from 23 to 27, I believe. Nice. And basically what they're doing is, how firms work. They are an investment firm, so they do a lot of investments and things, but they are more so seeking, I believe right now they're seeking 1,000 founders of color to invest money in. So I felt like that was pretty.
We was just talking about that.
Right, I felt that was pretty dope, and I believe since they started, they actually touched, I believe, $5 million through investments. So I'm like, that's really, really, really dope. Yeah. So for any CEOs or anything like that or new startups, just reach out to them and give them a little background of your business and see if they are willing to invest in it, or seek any other investors, right? Or seek any other investors that are willing to invest in them in your business as well. So I really felt that was really dope. So shout out to Harlem Capital for even getting that feature on Forbes. Mm-hmm. So shout out. I
see you shaking your head.
Do you know them?
Yeah, I know who they are. Yeah, I know they do an amazing work.
That's
like
dope.
Yeah.
See, let them know. Let them know KIS is on it.
Right. So is it like you reach out to them individually, or do they have an app or website?
See, they have a website. I believe it's harlem.capital.com. Mm-hmm. So for more information, I would definitely go in there. I don't want to, steer anyone the wrong way. Yeah.
Go on their Instagram.
Right. So I will definitely go on their website to get a little more information. And if you are interested in more of like the not finance firms and investment firms and stuff like that, definitely go on the website, because I don't have that much knowledge on that, but I would definitely go there. I've seen they have a lot of females. They just I believe her is bakery something. I really looked at it, and they just invested in her, so that was really dope. And then they shouted her out on there, and and she's of color and minority.
How did you bump into them?
I told you I do this on a regular, like. So
you just be searching.
I do that on a regular. I really feel like it's dope. You know how I am. Like I'm really passionate about entrepreneurs and really create a platform for them. So I really seek them. I really seek everybody that's in the city. And
hashtag entrepreneur.
Right. So on the how they have a Forbes segment that's 30 under 30. So I always look at that because that's in our area, in our realm. So I'm like, who else is doing dope things? Right. And they actually have a new segment. It's called Social Entrepreneurs. So it's not just regular like entrepreneurs doing retail and things. It's actually those that are trying to help the world. So different businesses that like maybe it's a plant-based business or things like that. That's really kind of trying to help the world. They have that segment.
That's fire.
That's dope. So another thing, I always give little tips for businesses as well. So we're always on Instagram, utilizing it from day up to day down. Right. So now you can actually utilize it for your businesses, a little more than just marketing wise. They have the Instagram shoppable posts. So instead of, just posting, say a picture and just commenting under, you can actually link your checkout cart or your business to your actual picture. So that's kind of dope. So steps to do that would be get a business page. So, instead of having the regular personal page, you transfer it to a business page, and you have to link your Facebook, because how Facebook and Instagram made that merge. Mm-hmm. So you actually have to have a Facebook business page to match up to that Instagram page. It's fairly easy. It sounds a little complicated, but it's fairly easy.
What that reminds me of? The app Kim Kardashian kind of like. It reminded me of it.
Oh,
I don't know if it's the same thing, but she has an app where like I guess you take a picture or a screenshot and then you put on the app and you find out like what they're wearing and stuff. But
that's kind of cool.
That's a little different.
That's cool.
Right?
Yeah, it's kind of similar like when you explain it, but it's a little different. Directly link it.
And I see that the shops themselves link. Like you can click, it says the price.
That's that. So it has the price. So like right when you tag, normally you would tag a person or something like that. You can just tag the product, and it'll bring you right to the shopping cart.
Then that means those businesses are using that app.
Yes, basically. Nice. Well, it's not a separate app. It's part of Instagram now. So it's an upgrade on Instagram that is called Shoppable Post on Instagram. So that's an upgrade that they kind of did, I believe, in March, I believe it was. So that's what I mean. And the just to continue with the steps, you have the business page. After you have your business page, create a Facebook page as well to connect that. And on Facebook, you'll actually have your product section, and then it links it straight from there. So, I just feel like, for businesses, just to, like delete an extra step or actually making it a little hard to target your consumers to go to your website, link in bio. You can actually have it direct. Yeah,
I'm thinking like, wow, like my Instagram page is a business, I guess. Like,
what I do is I actually have my personal page and my business page, both business pages, because you're still a brand. So while you're branding yourself, you can also brand your business, and just to keep stats of that. So anyway, just when you have a business, automatically have a business page on Instagram, just so you can do your stats. I like to do stats month to month, and that's another way that you can do that. They give you stats on everything: your posts, your story, things that you're selling, who's liking, who's viewing, who's sharing, even the demographic of who's watching. So, just that's utilize Instagram other than just scrolling up, on a wake up. Okay? So I'm just keeping it nice and short. But yeah, so tune in to next week for News with Naj on KIS.
Okay. And now, before we wrap up, we always have wrap-up song of the week. And wrap-up song of the week was chosen by our guest. So you want to introduce the song?
Lex Lava. What's the name of the song now?
Funky Piano.
I know he's probably looking like, yo.
Come on, bro.
I know. Like, you gonna do this to me?
Nah, because I was like.
He told you don't choose an old song.
No, actually, that was actually. I'm like that jazz type of person, and that I heard that beat, and when I listen to artists, I want to hear that.
Right.
So I'm like, man, this is it.
That
vibe.
Right.
I want a story.
Yeah.
It wasn't about the cause.
All right, Lex Lavo, Funky Piano, wrap-up song of the week.
She just wanted to be able to live somewhere where it was quiet, calm, and peaceful. That was a long time ago. Live and direct. It's that East Harlem cat kicking that shit you need in your system. Vibe with me. I sit down in my set thinking of shit I regret. So I step into a world, come witness. Vein popping, car robbing, sniff, sniff. Name dropping, heart throbbing, they like click, clack. Then put it in a knapsack. That's just a sad reality, trying to stay out of that lane. But your peers force it upon you, and as a youngin', ain't nobody gonna tell you what you gon' do, but you want to. Cause living that lifestyle appeals to the right and wrong people. You might get them chicks, but you gon' meet them peoples one time, steady clocking. That's why you keep your twerk by your planners, cause your nuts, they steady jocking. But we keep rocking.
I actually wanted to find, cause I like those jazz vibes, but I haven't found that place. Like, in the movies when they have those places
those
where you just like vibing out, but they perform.
Right.
It's real movies.
Nice little atmosphere.
No, they have those, but I just don't know where. Right? So, for all of the listeners, if you have a spot, maybe
let us know
or something. Yeah,
send it in a DM
Brooklyn, maybe. Brooklyn, I feel like have more vibes.
Yeah.
So, one of our Brooklyn listeners, please comment for a spot for me to go to just to jazz out and vibe out.
Right. All right, and this is Keeping It Social with Ashley Nicole,
Tasia Badass,
and Naja.
Had a long week, now it's time to get lit. About to hit the club, about to go and find a fit. Homie stressed out, cause I pulled her with his bitch. She left, cause she chain fake, and you're running tick. It don't even make sense.